Hello friends, welcome back to Raju Notes channel, your current affairs weekly update. Today we will do the update from 29th of January 2022 to 5th of February 2022. Well, we had two international events which had prominence last week, and one of them being that United States has announced Qatar as a major non-NATO ally. Well, the Joe Biden government announced this after meeting with the Qatar's Emir, that is Sheikh Tamim Al Thani, and called out that this kind of a status was long overdue, and this has been going on from past a year, and Qatar has finally now been allowed as a major non-NATO ally, and this move will allow Qatar to have access to military and financial benefits both from the US. So how is this important? Well, now the military balance in the Middle East will certainly take a change, with Qatar getting into as a non-major non-NATO ally. The second international news being Japan's parliament has adopted a resolution against the serious human rights situation in China, and this has been passed a few days before the Beijing Winter Olympics. We all know that China is hosting the Beijing Winter Olympics. Many countries of the world have boycotted it. Japan has also boycotted this and has said that it won't send any delegation to Olympics. But before the Olympics started, Japan passing adapting a resolution against the concerns of violation of freedom of religion in Xinjiang province, Tibet and Hong Kong. So it is getting international attention, and for the first time Tibet has also been included. We have always seen that Tibet has been opposing China on all fronts, but it never got an international recognition. Now if there is something in the current affairs wherein you are being asked about questions on how is now Tibet figuring out and how is Winter Olympics of China making a difference, well, this is what you should be aware of. Back home in India, this week has been the major event this week has been the budget, Union Budget 2022 and 23. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had proposed this budget, and she has announced many things, and some of the key highlights of this budget are: one is the e-passport, which we had already discussed earlier. It will be coming with an embedded chip and will be likely to be rolled out in 22 and 23. In addition to this, we'll also likely to see the digital rupee, as the worldwide we see cryptocurrencies coming in. China has already pressed in yuan. So India is also now trying to give a digital rupee, and how will it roll out, what will be its features, we'll have to wait and watch. But RBI plans to roll out this digital currency in 2022 and 2023. The 5G spectrum auction is also being planned in 2022, and the income from, for the first time, the government has said that the income from virtual digital assets like NFTs and various other things will be taxed at 30%, and there has been no change in the personal income tax for the individual from the last year. In addition to this, four priorities of the government has been given, and the first one being the Pradhanmantri Shakti Yojna, which we had discussed in the last year's update, and we have seen that how it plans to increase the development, productivity and investment on other things. So PM Gati Shakti will be given, basically is being driven by 7 engines, basically, that is roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transports, waterways and logistic infrastructure. And it is the priority for Gati Shakti has been given in this budget. And after this budget, there are some major things for which will become cheaper in this budget. That is the cut and polished diamonds, gemstones, imitation jewelry are becoming cheaper in this as per the budget of 22-23, and this is because the government has reduced the customs duty on it. And in addition to this, leather goods, clothes, steel scrap, mobile phone chargers and chemicals which are used for the petroleum products will also be getting cheaper, while as the umbrellas will get costlier in this from this budget onwards. Maybe government is expecting a lot of rain next year, I don't know, but umbrellas have certainly become costlier. We just covered as to how the income tax has been levied on the virtual digital assets, it at 30%, and it stated that all the non-fungible tokens, that is NFTs, or any other token of similar nature, including any code, number of tokens generated through cryptographic means or otherwise, which provides a digital representation of value exchanged, will be included in this, and the government will be seeking 30% of tax on the same. This will though in this many things are yet to be cleared, but you should be aware that it is being taxed at 30%. What are the items which are likely to get costly in this after this budget? Well, due to hike in the custom duties on imported parts, the following items are likely to become more expensive. These includes the umbrellas, as we had already discussed, single or multiple loudspeakers, headphones, earphones, smart meters, solar modules, X-ray machines, and part of electronic toys. Now, one thing which I got my attention was the solar modules are getting costlier, but India also plans to get about 250 gigawatt of energy, solar energy by end next year. So that means India is pushing in homegrown solar panels than that of that are being imported from China. But in that case, the solar modules getting costly is a question mark. But maybe we'll get an announcement soon in this field as well. During this budget, the finance minister has also said that considering the constraint of space in the urban areas for electric vehicle charging stations, the batteries swapping policy will be launched. This is a very good move. We already know that Nitin Gadkari had been pushing for this electric vehicles throughout. The roads are being developed. There are parts of charging stations all across these roads. But giving the constraints, if one has to charge his own car or the battery at his own residence or maybe a commercial charging point, so if 4 cars stop at one particular charging point, then it has to have a lot of infrastructure there. So to avoid this, battery swapping policy is a very good thing, wherein you just coming to a charging station, you take your battery, you put it into one of the charging ports and pick up a battery which is already charged and then put it into your car. So like this you can, by doing so, the interoperability between the cars is also there. That means the battery can be put into any car or any vehicle, and it will be a standard one, and the companies will have to follow this procedure. So it's a good thing, and I think it's a good move to come into rescue for people who are in kind of emergency, and they need not wait for probably 1 hour to 1 hour 45 minutes for its battery to get charged. They just simply come and replace the batteries and go. Well, for the just as the analysis part, the government of India earns about 58 paise out of 1 rupee from direct and indirect taxes. That means to say, if government of India today is earning 1 rupee, out of that 1 rupee, 58 paise is coming from your direct or some kind of an indirect tax, whereas the remaining 35 paise is coming from the borrowings and other liabilities. So the rest, the other 5 paise is coming from non-tax revenues, and 2 paise is coming from non-debit capital receipts. So this gives us a clearer picture as to how much government of India is earning and what are its sources for the earning of the income. Well, post that, now let's come back to the part which we were discussing earlier in the international arena, that is the Beijing Olympics. A strange picture started moving out in the social media, wherein the flame of Beijing Winter Olympics was carried, the torch was carried by the injured soldiers of Galwan. and this was done as if to tease India, and taking a cognizance of this, the Prasar Bharati CEO, that is Shashi Shekhar Vempati, he said that DD Sports will not telecast the live of the opening and closing ceremonies of the Winter Olympics being held in Beijing. Earlier, the Minister of External Affairs had also announced that the Indian envoy will not be attending these ceremonies in Beijing. However, India is fielding its sportsmen in one of the category. We'll just look at that. Meanwhile, a Pakistani Prime Minister took off on a plane just to be standing as a support for China for its Beijing Olympics, but also with the begging bowl that China invest in Pakistan. And this time he has gone to sign new pacts with China to begin the second phase of the CPEC, that is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. We already know that the Pakistan Economic Corridor is already going down the drain, sorry. And in the latest news coming from Pakistan is the Balochistan movement, rebel movement, has taken on very big shape. There is an operation which is going on from last about 58 hours, wherein a lot of soldiers have been killed. Pakistan is not saying anything, not even its army chief has given out any statement, and they are trying to hush up the issue. But as for the news from the Twitter and other sources are concerned, there are about 60 to 70 soldiers of Pakistani army who have been killed by the Baloch rebel forces. This situation has been brewing in there, and with Pakistani Prime Minister going to China to begin for the second phase of CPEC. CPEC passes through Balochistan. China plans to put in the second phase of CPEC. The Chinese government has proposed to put industries along this corridor, and this is certainly what has hurt the Balochistan, because Balochistan is rich in minerals and natural resources, and China plans to take them all. So this is taking a new turn. Let's see what all will happen. Coming back to the Olympics part, India's only team of, that is skier Arif Khan, had led a 4-member Indian contingent during this Winter Olympics opening ceremony, which happened on Friday, that is yesterday, and amid the diplomatic boycott. None of the officials were there, only the Indian team, which was led by skier Arif Khan, was there. And it is to point to note that 31-year-old Arif Khan is India's only participant in the games for the competition, and his match is likely to be conducted on February 13th and February 16th. So let's see if we make something, but India has diplomatically boycotted the same. And last news coming in for this week, last week, is that around 80 Afghan cadets who had completed their courses in India in various Indian military academies have been offered a 1-year training program by the government of India. This decision was taken due to the prevailing situation in the Afghanistan. The embassy of the previous government said that these cadets will be placed in 3 different institutes and they will be provided with a monthly salary, it added. We all know that there is a turmoil going in Afghanistan, and these cadets will probably be put through 1 more year of training, and by then the situations might improve in Afghanistan and they might find some place due there. Well, that's all, friends. A very quick update for the last week, and please follow my channel for such updates every week on every Sunday, and this will help you for various kinds of examinations, probably your interviews, and for your basic general knowledge. And if you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe that button and encourage me by pressing that like button. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Use mask always.